We're live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to this MOA POS BJD event. For further proceedings, I'll hand it over to our moderator, Dr. Arjun Veigus. Over to you, sir.
A very good evening to you all. It is my proud privilege today to welcome you all to this beautiful meeting where we will be listening to our own Professor Emeritus Dr. K.H. Sancheti, who has taught us all that we know today and who has brought us all to a position of honor. I would welcome our President of the Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, Dr. Ajit Shinde, to give us a welcome address. This meeting is being held in association with the Pune Orthopaedic Society, the Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, and the Indian Orthopaedic Association. So it's a very, very big meeting, and I thank you all for joining in.
Good evening, dear friends. Greeting from Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association. I, Dr. Ajit Shinde, President of Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, welcome all of you to this joint MOA POS inspirational talk event happening. Quite truly, without inwardly inspiration, one cannot manifest his outwardly external goals in his life, whether it be a field of orthopedic or any other field, and constantly remain inspired, motivated, passionate can be a bit troublesome in today's life. But never to worry, as we have got for today's program the one and only Dr. K. Sancheti sir, guiding us on maintaining healthy work-life balance, a talk I feel worth. And after him, Dr. Shirish Pathak, orthopedic surgeon from Pune, surely will be pumping up all of us with his from bone man to Iron Man talk later. Also, to make this conversation more fruitful, we are having masters in these fields. Dr. Sandeep Patwardhan, Dr. Chetan Puram, Dr. Atul Patil, Dr. Rajeev Joshi, and Dr. Arjun Veigus as well. Friends, I can't wait longer time now, and thus don't waste any time and hand over the proceeding to Dr. Veigus. I am thankful to the President of POS and Secretary for inviting me to this session. Thank you. Jai Hind, Jai Maharashtra, Jai MOA.
May I request thank you very much, sir. I now request our President of the Pune Orthopaedic Society, Dr. Narayan Karne, who is also the current Secretary of the Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, to please give us a welcome address.
Thank you, Dr. Arjun, for inviting me here. On behalf of Indian Orthopaedic Association, Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, and Pune Orthopaedic Society, I welcome all of you for this wonderful session. It is a part of the Bone and Joint celebrations. The Bone and Joint Day is celebrated in commemoration of the foundation of the Indian Orthopaedic Association on the 4th August 1954. And to celebrate that every year, yes, IOA has got some theme. Now, this time the theme is that of the training and the awareness of the common persons to give the first hour golden hour treatment or the management, we can say, for the accident victims. Now, along with this, we go for certain social and cultural events also. And for that, one of the event is for the inspiration of all the orthopedic surgeons all over India. And now every orthopedic surgeon is going through, every doctor for that matter is going through a lot of stresses, and let that be of the updating their knowledge of their clinic, hospital management, and of course the medical issues. Now, in all this scenario, it is very difficult to keep the mental balance as well as the physical balance also. In this cutthroat competition, you have to work very hard. Now, to come out of this, we have got we have got certain celebrities and idols. And the best is none other than our respected idol, Padma Vibhushan, Dr. K.H. Sancheti sir, who has maintained I spoke to him now that he looks same as he was looking 30 years ago. It's really a wonder. I think okay, one part may be the gift of the God, but one part is he's doing something which is great and which is maintaining him young. Rather, we are feeling old when we are 30 years younger than him. So all of us want to know what is the secret behind his ever smiling and bubbling personality. And I don't think that rather he will be in one of the persons having a Chiranjeevi one in orthopedics. So, sir, you are idol and a philosopher as well as a guide to all of us in India, not only in India, I will say abroad also your students are there. And we wish to hear from you all the secrets of your longevity as well as the youth. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karne, sir. Without much ado, I'm now going to go on to introducing our legendary Dr. K. Sancheti, who we all know. In fact, it's very difficult to introduce a person who is a legend. And as we know, he had very humble beginnings. He was the son of a grocer in Narayan at Pune, born in 1936. His father, Hastima Sancheti, brought him all the values that he grew up with, mainly honesty, simplicity, and to always be ethical in what one does. His mother lived to the ripe age of 1998 or 99, and only until recently she was with him, and she has given him so much of love and dedication to his work. He was in school and he had the best of friends. As they say, the company we keep can shape more than just the outcome of a situation, and it's individuals who shape who we are and who we become. He studied at the New English School at Raman Bagh, and it is to these famous Dr. Vijay Karne, a famous pathologist from Pune, Dr. Banda Kukre, and of course, sir, who were the best of friends. He studied with them. They shaped his life and they made him decide to become a doctor. He studied at the prestigious BJ Medical College. He was a very, very good student. He became a doctor and he trained under Dr. Koyaji for a while, and then he moved on to Bombay to do his postgraduate degree at the very, very famous KEM hospital where only the toppers and the best students go. He studied there his postgraduate degree from 1963 to 1965, where he completed his MS Ortho. He's famous when he came to Pune. He encountered Dr. Motwani, whose picture we'll see, and he's very famous during his time at KEM for his plastering technique and his spinal manipulation. In fact, he was called for this all the time by Dr. Talwarkar. He encountered with Dr. Motwani when he came to Pune, who handed him his hospital to run, and that's the beginning of the famous Sancheti career. And this hospital was on Jangli Maharaj Road, from where Dr. Sancheti moved to his hospital. This is his professor, Dr. A.K. Talwarkar, inaugurating his hospital. In those days, they didn't cut a ribbon, but they used to just turn a key. So you can see how he's opening the lock of the hospital that Sir started. In those days, it was not much done to start a hospital, and it took a lot of courage for Sir to take a big risk and start a huge hospital with so much square area. He's always interested in teaching, and you'll see that he's always surrounded by students from all over the world. In fact, he has a huge alumni association. He has students from every part of the world, every state of this country. He loves to spend time with his students. He knows how to be cool with them. From the old Sancheti hospital, the new Sancheti hospital evolved, and it was a big gamble for Sir to actually build such a huge setup for a 6-story building in those days. He has not only designed his own hospital, but also has contributed to the Bharati Vidyapith Hospital, the Inlax Hospital, and many other hospitals in the state and in the country. He's spent much time with famous people like Dada J.P. Vaswani. He used to conduct free plastic surgery camps with Dr. Dixit, and he was much acclaimed for his polio surgery work. He has conducted at least 10,000 camps in the last so many years, and for which he was given the Padma Shri Award for extraordinary work in the field of polio in 1981. So Padma Shri K. Sancheti. And he loves studying. He continues to attend updates, meetings, conferences, and reading and keeping up to date. Anytime you'll find that he is in the latest of the trends. I have trained under him, so I know in the morning meetings, he would always come up with the best of the information. And for him, work is relaxation. Always work hard is his motto. He designed the indigenous knee, the Indus knee, which went into a great reputation, and he received the Padma Bhushan for his dedicated work in the field of research from the president then, IPG Abul Kalam. His Indus knee was much acclaimed even by Srimati Pratibha Patil, the later president, and he received many awards, international awards. He got the late B.C. Roy Award. You will always find him mingling with very, very top dignitaries, with ministers, with with all the ruling cabinet ministers. You'll find that they all want to spend some time with him and be treated by him. Anna Hazare himself was treated by him so many times. He spent time with Amitabh Bachchan, with Lata Mangeshkar. But even though he now says that he's taking a back seat and he's retiring from active work, it's out of the question. Sir will never ever retire. He's going to work till he's 99. You can see that his enthusiasm has never gone down. Even though he put down his knife, his surgical knife, on his 85th birthday. This is a picture of him at that last surgery, hardly on his birthday on the 24th of July this year. The pillar behind his success, of course, is his beautiful wife, Bhabhi, who we call from 1965 till, of course, now. We thank you, Bhabhi, for standing by him all through these years and being so, keeping, even though he was always so busy, you stood by him with all his work. KHS, sir, we welcome you and we would like you to now give us your talk on work-life balance.
Thank you. Thank you, Veigus, for excellent introduction, and hats off to you, the way in which you conduct always everywhere. Today, yes, I think my talk today is work-life balance. This balance between the work and life actually is a very, very tricky and very important issue that everyone must understand in detail right from the beginning, and then follow it further to improve their life and improve their work, professional work. In professional work, what I want to tell everyone is self-assessment first. Then in self-assessment, one should know what are his limitations, what he likes, what he dislikes, and accordingly plan your work. And whether you want to become a kind of a consultant, or you want to become a full-time person, or you want to go into teaching, education, all these things you must do by self-assessment and then proceed accordingly. Likings are important things, that what you like and what you don't like. In the liking, it is essential to know whether you like working more, operations, and helping other people along with the professional work. But in all the things, satisfaction is the most important point that you must have. Satisfaction is the fundamental of work. Everything what you do should give you satisfaction. People say, I am asked to retract only and I cannot to do this. No. Even retraction while doing surgery, take it positively. And what I say always, convert liability into asset. Say you are able to see the operation from the very closely, you can observe the steps and you can memorize later on. So satisfaction in every step of work, what you do is very important, and then you learn how to get happy in every time. The purpose of work you must find out. My purpose of work is to help people. My purpose of work is to get satisfaction. My purpose of work is to see that I propagate the orthopedics, I propagate my kind of whatever I know, and I share with them is my purpose. Passion, you must have passion for anything you do in life. Whatever small things or big thing it should be, when you do, there should be passion. There should be a kind of a feeling inside that, oh, I am the best to do it and I will do it the best. And accordingly proceed with that passion, and passion joining with hard work. You know, hard work is one thing important in any kind of work, any kind of profession, and so also medical field. In medical field, you are coming in contact with the patient, and that is the difference between other specialties like, say, chartered accountant, engineer, architect, etc., where they don't come in contact with the people. Here you relieve the agony of a patient and you are able to help them. And for that matter, whether you get a case at night, in a night, or in any time in 24 hours emergency case, it is one thing that because of your hard work, you will be able to enjoy it, and you will never feel that this is a botheration. While doing all this, suppose you are doing a surgery in the night. Certain times we have to take some risk, or you are constructing a hospital, or you are taking a loan from the bank. So everywhere we take little risk and take risk and go further, go ahead. Because of that risk-taking ability, your performance increases and your goals, whatever you have fixed in your mind, they get fulfilled very well and within no time. Communication is another aspect. Because of we deal with the patient and their mind, communication, whatever you do, from even though you talk from the lips, it should come from the heart. It should come from the involvement. And every patient, whether it is poor or rich, whether it is in a general hospital or in a special OPD, should be treated equally and with that kind of satisfaction. So that communication skill, if you develop, your work ability will improve, and that can give you further rise. Phases of work. In early days, one has to work more. If I remember my early days, in the early couple of years when there was a polio in abundant, I used to take every Saturday, Sunday, I used to move all over Maharashtra, part of the Karnataka, part of the MP, and conduct camps there. And only after 3 months, whenever any fifth Sunday used to come, that I used to give to my wife. So in that phase, I worked more for the work. My working for the profession was more, and my leisure and other times and family time was much less. However, because of cooperation of my wife, I am able to pass on. And later on, when that phase was over, I settled down. Then I gave more time to the family and more time to other things, and it went on, the ratio went on reversing. This is what we see about professional work. While doing professional work, you should be at the top of the mind, and you should be at the best of performance in every part you do. But now let us talk about the life. In life, family, spouse, and kids are very important. In what your spouse cooperation, your spouse nature is very important for your growth. Luckily, I got wife which is full understanding. You know, when early days of my practice, I used to spend more time in the hospital. Her friend, one of her friend, asked her, "Are Dr. Sancheti is not giving you time. He is spending more time in the hospital." Then what she answered? This is the time to work, and I must allow him to work. You know, that kind of understanding. If it is there with the spouse, your life becomes very comfortable, and that's how you should go ahead. But about the kids, let me talk to you a little more about the kids. Kids must get a particular culture, sanskar. And sanskars are one which are not brought from the bazaar. The sanskar are not taught like other things you teach to the children. They see you, they see your mother, they see their father, how they are working, how they are talking, and accordingly they develop their culture. You must have honesty, you must have good thought process, and accordingly talk to the children about your work in the sense not related to work, but the passion and other things, so that they can develop that kind of culture amongst themselves. Health. Now, Dr. Karne just mentioned about my health, etc. But Dr. Karne, right from the age of 40, I am doing exercises. And the health, I give a lot of importance to the health right from that time. And therefore, I am maintaining good health even at the age of 85, complete 86 running. In health, I divide it into three parts. First is stretching exercises, another is yoga, and third is muscle developing exercises. In stretching and yoga, I do 3 days in a week, and muscle developing exercises, I do 3 days in a week. Sunday is a holiday. So along with this kind of exercises, walking is also equally important. 50% of our muscles are trained and developed while walking. Everybody must walk 3 to 5 kilometers every day. About 45 minutes they should spend for walking, and about 45 minutes for doing this thing, other exercises. This can maintain your health very well, and maintaining the health physically also helps the spiritual development, which I can talk later on. Hobbies. You must, in medical profession, as compared to other profession, the hobbies are in abundance. Most most of our doctors are very fond of classical music. They are fond of singing. They are fond of playing violin, flute, piano, and other things. So you must develop hobby. Along with that, you can have the hobby of observing the birds, like Dr. Naik. He is very fond of, he goes to jungles and observe the different kinds of kids and enjoys himself, and that is his hobby. Some hobbies are making garden. If you have got a space, you can make a garden, look after the garden. Some hobbies, there are some people whose hobby is to go and help. They will, whenever they get leisure time, they will go in some poor area and help these people. So whatever may be your hobby, you must have the hobby so that your stress is relieved, and there must be compensatory part of the hobby which can help to balance your work. Friends and leisure. In life, you must have friends, because the friends are one where you can share your all upon open up your heart, and they are one. We have got no other interest in you except each other's welfare. So this kind of thinking, few friends, not very many. Well, there are so many friends are there, but good chunk important friends are only 2 to 3, and where you can have leisure, talk to them, spend time with them, chat with them, drink with them, and that's how you can have your life as a meaningful life. Spiritual development. Yes, our spiritual development is one where your internal mind is beyond materialistic gain. Of course, spiritual development means not the spirit you take in the evening. So it just reminds me of one joke. You know, one culprit was brought to the court, and then judge asks you are brought here for drinking. Oh, he said, "Well, let's open the bar." Then everybody started laughing. The judge said, "Order, order, order." He said, "One peg of gin and one peg and soda, or whiskey and soda." You know, that kind of spirit is not this. This spirit is one where your internal development, your development of the soul is beyond the beyond the selfish situation or selfish activities. In life, if you think that you are born for helping others, in addition to take care of your family, take care of your children, take care of your dependents, your brother, relatives, that helping others is the important aspect in life, which can be developed very well by your spiritual development. In society, you have to move and cannot remain away from the society. If there is a Lions Club, Rotary Club, or any other Ganesh Mandal in your area where they want you to come and so do the puja of Ganpati or something like that, whatever it may be. But you must go and participate and see that they feel that you are not different from them. You mix with them and give them the happiness. Therefore, that is the role of society, and everybody's life. You must be with the society. How do we get balance? Balance is required, and knowing yourself. Your balance is required to know yourself, to know your shortcomings, whatever you are cut for, as I mentioned in the earlier part, that you understand yourself first. And when you understand and you accept your shortcomings, your positive points, and accordingly go on developing it further. Time management. Time management is one which is very, very, very important. Time management gives you more time out of the time. It gives you discipline. It gives you particular things to work in a particular time. So whatever time you want to give for your work, whatever time you want to give for your rest of the life activities, you must plan and accordingly follow it. Time management is also very important in balancing between the work and life. Stress management. In medical field, the stress is bound to come. Everybody is bound to have some kind of stress. But your way of looking at it, your involvement, your kind of results, your association with others can reduce it to a very great extent. And that reduction in stress is possible by your spiritual development of the mind, where you don't get affected by small things here and there. You don't get worked up, and you feel comfortable with that spiritual management. So spiritual development. So stress management is one which is very important, and you must learn how to do the stress. Along with that, your hobbies, your playing on violin or flute or singing, etc., etc. These hobbies also reduce your stress to a great extent. Role of technology. As you know, in our mobile, everything is available in the hand, and the technology has advanced to a very, very great extent, where you can save the time and you can have more time for family and more time for life, as in addition to work. But there is one negative point you must also remember. If you go home and when everybody is taking food and you keep mobile in your left hand and go on checking your while taking food with the family members, if you go on checking your WhatsApp and everything, that is a curse. Never use mobile at home along when you are with children or with your wife, and that is a negative part of the technology, which unless we pay attention to it, otherwise it becomes a habit, and then you are difficult to come out of it. To conclude, there is no such thing as work-life balance. It is life. The balance is within you. How you decide what to do, what not to do, and take everything life along. Work is part of the life. Important part of the life is work, and that gives you bread and butter. That gives you recognition to take care of the rest of the requirements of the life. That's what I feel. Balance, work, balance, work, balance. Along with that, life, work is so much so that they are one, and therefore I conclude that you balance within and learn to balance within, and you will find the solution and a beautiful, successful life. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, KHS sir. In fact, that was just what we wanted to hear. You've given us everything that you stood for so many years. I'm sorry, some of my slides got sort of didn't play when I was talking the last time, and I'm going to conclude with a few more slides. Sorry, it goes right to the beginning. So, KHS sir, you have just told us so many things about what we are expected to do in future, and that's how it happened the last time, and here it is now. So I missed the part where sir is now building a new hospital, and that hospital is going to be even bigger than the existing Sancheti hospital, and it is only remaining for completion, and we are all going to see a very phenomenal new big Sancheti hospital. I'm sorry the slideshow is not working. The last few slides are not coming, which shows sir as a family man, and there are some beautiful pictures of him with in family outings. If it comes, I will show it again. Thank you very much, KHS sir, for your very, very guiding light and for your words of wisdom.
Thank you.
I now move on to a speaker, Dr. Shirish Pathak, who has been a colleague, a friend, and a very, very good person I know.
Arjun, sorry to interrupt you.
Many years.
Arjun, sorry to interrupt you. We can have some question and answer session for sir.
Okay.
And some of the panelists will ask the question. Sorry to interrupt you.
Very well. Shirish will take some questions first.
Yeah, sure.
You could unshare.
Shirish will have his talk after the question answer session to the sir is over. Let's first finish the session with the sir.
Okay.
Shirish, stop the screen share.
Shirish, kindly stop sharing.
Yeah, I'll do that. Just trying to do that.
Okay.
Okay. So I request our panel, Dr. Chetan Puram, Dr. Atul Patil, Dr. Rajeev Joshi, Dr. Shailesh Wahegaonkar, and Dr. Barid, to please ask some questions from sir, that he could give us some more a light on how we should have a perfect work-life balance.
Hello,
Huh.
Dr. Dr. Patwardhan here, sir.
Yes.
Thank you for that excellent talk. I
Thank
have a question for you.
Yeah.
The philosophy that you told us about work-life balance and how Bhabi helped you, and the requirement of working hard in early on in your life. Do you think it holds true in 2021? Because today we find that our residents, we have male and female orthopedic surgeons who really don't want to get married at all or settle down at all. So how do they distribute their approach to their life when what we thought, when even in our generation, when our parents said this is the time to get married, we got married, settled down, and then there was the issue of how much to work and how much does your family support you. Today that whole spectrum has shifted by about 7 to 10 years. So what is your advice to the younger orthopedic surgeons who are now neither marrying nor settling down, as we used to call it, settle down? And how do they balance out their life? When do they choose a specialty? When do they get married? Is this healthy? Where is society headed? I would like you to just briefly say about it.
Yes. Work-life balance is always an individual aspect. Whatever way they are going to take care of their life as such. The people who think that they don't want to get married are one, which I feel that in the life, sometimes they will feel that they are missing something, and then their goal to exceed in the professional life, whether they will remain the same or their goal will come down and other aspect of the life will take over. And this change is going to happen over a period of time. Now, you talked about the resident. When I was teaching the resident about 20 years before, etc., everybody's involvement was different. Today, there is involvement, but there is a shift, there is a different pattern of involvement. That change I see. And I think this change is beyond anybody's way of changing it. So we have to accept that and accordingly modify the present way of taking care life and work balance, etc. This is my answer to you.
Good evening, sir.
Thank you, sir.
Dr. Chetan Puram.
Yeah.
I would like to ask you one question. You have achieved so much that we can all only aspire to do so. But in your glorious career, do you feel that there is something that you could have done more or something that you missed out on doing?
To be frank, I don't think I missed anything because I was planning for, say, a short period. I will achieve that, then I will plan something more. I will achieve that, then I will plan something more. It was not a plan for 20 years or 15 years. It was a short plan. And as soon as I achieve it, I will go to the next plan. Therefore, I don't feel that I am missing something and I am not satisfied. I am fully satisfied. And God has given me everything about legacy and everything. So nothing is missing. And that's what I can say very happily and proudly.
Thank you, sir, and excellent presentation. We are very lucky to hear it and be your students. Thank you.
Thank you.
So there are a couple of questions, sir, from the chat box by Dr. Atul Patil, who wants to know if there is a mishap at the hospital and a patient succumbs or there is a significant complication and your mind is completely on that. And there is no interaction with family. How does one handle a severe complication with a family life?
Number one, whenever there is a complication, that particular time is more for the work rather than for the family. You have to explain to the family, let them understand that this is one situation where it is question of not only repetition, but nowadays they become little rowdy, etc. So if you explain to the family and they understand it well, and they will on the contrary support you like that. This is one aspect as far as family is concerned. But I want to extend my talk, my answer, that whenever your patient is serious or critical, you must spend some time with the relatives and talk to them and take them into confidence. This is very important. Some doctors do not talk to them at all. Then they become unhappy and rowdy. So these two things are which I want to stress while answering your question.
Okay, sir. A couple of more questions. Dr. Rajeev Joshi wants to know, at what age should one choose a super specialty if they want to do it? How many years after MS?
After MS, you should work for 2 years to get the hangover of the total orthopedics. And after 2 years, then choose a specialty, whatever you want to do, joint replacement or a pediatric, right from beginning you can do hand surgery or etc. As Dr. Patwardhan, you are doing it very well right from the beginning. So you can do that right from the beginning. But rest of the things, to go for a super specialization, 2 years period is required to have a hangover of the orthopedic practice in total.
Okay. And Dr. Atul also wanted to know, which is a good age to retire? When do you advise retirement for common persons?
Retirement, there cannot be a particular age limit. It depends upon your nature. For example, I cannot sit at home. I'll come and work, see patient. Now I stopped doing surgery, but rest of the things I'll continue. So as soon as you feel that you are done enough, and you have got some other hobbies to take care, and there you can spend time, utilize time gainfully, then you can retire. But without that, there is no point retiring and remaining half everywhere, no satisfaction.
Okay, and final question again I'll put to you from Dr. Puram before I hand over to Arjun, is how do you plan post-retirement?
Yes. Post-retirement, two things. Give more time to your wife, more time to your children, meet them very frequently, and spend time with them. And whatever leisure activities you have not done in the past and you wanted to do, you take away one after another, and then do that, utilize your time in doing that. That way, you will able to spend your time better after retirement.
Okay. Thank you very much, sir, for the words of wisdom. Arjun, back to you. Sir, in view of the time, I think you can take over.
I have a
and
question
carry
too,
on
sir.
with Shirish.
How do you manage, sir, to catch up on sleep? I know that you sleep very little in the night. You wake up at 4 in the morning, you start exercise. How do you deal with that? And how about your health?
At 9:30, I go to bed, and 10 o'clock, I go to sleep. And about 4:30, I get up. So it has become a habit. I tried to sleep in the afternoon, but I couldn't get sleep in the afternoon. It's a question of habit. 7 hours sleep is more than enough. And that is, as the age advances, the requirement of the sleep reduces. And that's how I manage.
Thank you, sir. And even at the peak of your career, sir, was it that much? You used to get 7 hours sleep?
No. Yes.
Wow. So now I have finally sorted out the problem, and I have to just show you these last slides so that I feel happy. So KHS sir received the Padma Vibhushan from Honorable Pratibha Patil, the president. Then he started this joint replacement hospital, which now is going to become one of the biggest orthopedic hospitals in this country. 11 floors, 200 more beds. Sir has now 20 PG students, all MS Ortho under him. And he is a single person who has made an institution that is world famous and so amazing. He's a very, very big family man, and he loves spending time with his children, his grandchildren, his wife, and the whole family meets every now and then at get-togethers. And you can see how even in the hospital, Parag sir and Manisha ma'am and Rupal and Sonal, everybody helps out. And Anand Sangvi is there. We have Sahil. You have so many members of his family who are even helping him at work. At 85, his best is yet to come. Family time now, as well as working in the hospital and seeing patients. such wonderful pictures that reveal the another side of KHS sir, which we don't normally see. And to bring up a son who has become legendary all over the world. Parag Sancheti is a name which is bigger than anybody can achieve. We thank you, sir, for giving him the ideals and the values that have made him achieve who he is today. KHS, sir, you are truly phenomenal, and we thank you very much for giving us what you've shared with us today.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir. We now move on to our next speaker, and I'm proud to introduce Dr. Shirish Pathak, who has really done very well as an arthroscopic surgeon. He is famous today in Pune and all over the country. People come to him from far and wide. And he is an arthroscopist not only of the knee, but also the shoulder. And he's presently running the shoulder unit at Dinanath Mangeshkar Hospital. He's an alumnus of Sancheti Institute, also a very proud member of the executive committee of the Alumni Association. We now welcome Dr. Shirish Pathak to share with us his story of how he has become so fit. I remember when he was a PG student in 2002, he was not all that fit. He even was a little bit on the heavier side, but so many years later, you see him as an Iron Man. So here we are to hear Shirish's story.
Thank you, Arjun. Am I audible and can you see my slide presentation?
Yes, very well. Very well.
At the outset, I would like to thank President Secretary of Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, Pune Orthopaedic Society and IOA to give me this opportunity to share dais with my own teacher, legendary Dr. K. Sancheti sir. Speaking after sir is a big challenge, but I would be very happy to be part of this program. And if I can share my journey about fitness and if it can inspire any of you, I would be very happy. So without wasting time, I would like to start with my presentation. So this journey is from bone man to Iron Man. The tagline of Iron Man is anything is possible. So let me tell you what is Iron Man. So Iron Man is a triathlon which involves 3 sports activity. So swim followed by cycling followed by run, and it is one of the toughest one-day sports. So what are the distances to be covered in Ironman? It is about 3.8 kilometers sea swim, followed by 180 kilometers of cycling, and then you run a full marathon. And these all 3 legs have to be done back to back, and each leg has got cut-off timing. And overall timing is 16 hours. And the last Ironman which I did, I could manage well within time in 14 hours, 14 minutes. So I would like to show you a small video to give you the glimpse of what happens during the Ironman. And this is the video, professional video made in the Ironman which I participated. So the event starts with the sea swim. A lot of excitement, and you meet so many international professional athletes, amateur athletes, and it's full of fun and energy. And once you finish the sea swim, there is a transition zone where you come, change your clothes and get onto the cycling gear. There's at least 2,000 athletes who participate in such kind of international events. And then you get onto your bike. And this is the longest leg of the event, which takes about 6 to 7 hours. And it needs a lot of endurance. And once you finish cycling, again you come back to the transition zone. And you have so many cheerleaders who are there to motivate you, support you all the way through the route. And once you come to transition 2, then it's time to start your run. And you have 5.5 hours to finish your full marathon. And at end of the journey, what is most important is you should cross the finish line. And if you cross this finish line within stipulated time, then only you get the finisher's medal. Otherwise, you have to come empty-handed. So a lot of people ask me, why did I do Ironman? So I feel there is an athlete in all of us. Believe me, before 2014, I hardly did any athletic or sporting activity. As a common medical student or orthopedic surgeon, I was all the time studying and trying to improve my surgical and clinical skills. But I think at some point, you want to expand your comfort zone. You want to push your boundaries, and you really want to find out what you are really made of. And this is 2014. My practice started picking up. And I think this is the symbol of success and wealth, where you have, central obesity, a pot belly. My daily routine was very regular. And I found that it is very difficult to rectify. You just get up, go do some surgery, then see patient, come back to hospital, outpatient department, then you come back to your own private OPD. And that way, whole day used to get too busy. Then I thought that this is the right time where I need to fix this problem. Because if I want to pursue what I like most is orthopedics and my subspecialty, I have to be physically and mentally fit so that I can continue my priority, my career for a longer time. So as we all know, once orthopedician decides to fix the problem, we have a very simple approach. So I decided I have to discover myself. I have to race against myself. I don't have to compete with anybody else, and I have to challenge myself. And this was August 2014, and this is somewhere a year back. So this was a transformation I could do. And I would say this was not the goal, it was the side effect. So how it started? It started with just running. I thought this is the easiest, probably cheapest sports which I can pursue. And the strategy was, let us start run and walk a mix, because different muscle groups are used. 5 minutes slow run, then walk for a minute. And the basic concept was, I should be able to talk comfortably when I'm running. That is the best aerobic zone with which you can start off. And as you know, as you start running, it becomes more predictive. And roughly about 7-8 months from when I started running, I did my first 10 kilometer, which was in May 2015, and I could finish it without stopping. And I got surprised, and I could not believe that I could finish 10 kilometer without even walking. I was continuously running, and that pumped me more. And then eventually, after 1.5 years of training, I decided to run a full marathon, which I did in Amsterdam with a reasonably good time. And that boosted my confidence. See, why I did Ironman? I think somewhere you have this desire, you want to be somebody nobody thought you could be. And one thing led to another thing. And then I joined a coaching group. I think as you need a teacher in your orthopedic or clinical career, you also need a guru in your sporting career. And I was lucky to have someone who has done Ironman more than 25 times. And then my official coaching training started. It is very important, like in clinical practice or in surgery, if you fail to prepare, you are prepared to fail. So same thing applies in sports also. So once you set certain goal, you have to, plan, prepare properly. I would suggest this is a fitness watch, which is very useful, which calculates the distance what you walk, run. It calculates the calories burned. It tells you about the heart rate, cadence, your symmetry, and most importantly, more scientific parameters like Vo2 Max, sort of an average of a car. So that's the average of a human being. So I think this fitness watch I bought, and I realized it kept motivating me, because the moment you do run, you check your parameters and you want to improve them, with safety limits, because it tells you your heart rate and Vo2 max and the stress on your heart as well. Of course, when you start training, there are a lot of components. You cannot suddenly get up and start doing 10K or half marathon, full marathon. So it needs a lot of components. Most important is nutrition, a proper training, more than training, recovery. You have to strengthen, as Dr. K. Sancheti sir said, stretching, flexibility, mobility, and functional strengthening is very important. Without that, it is impossible to run for so many hours. Otherwise, you'll end up with a lot of sports injuries. And most important is the positive mindset. Being special sports medicine, the knowledge of sports medicine also helped me. And the periodization, what we talk about in different sport, actually helped me to achieve my own goal. So what is periodization? Is to plan different training variables in a such a way that you can achieve a specific goal in a specific period of time. So you can see this graph where you have more of volume in your early part of the training and intensity is less. As your body gets adapted, your volume goes down, but your intensity goes up. And then you can give the peak performance when you actually want to perform during your main event. So I was introduced to different types of runs like interval training, tempo run, hill repeats, long run, recovery runs. And there are so many apps. The one which I use is Training Peaks, where your coach can give you program plans and you can follow them up, and he can also supervise your performance. And we being orthopedician, we can learn, understand more than others because we know so many things in detail, so that it becomes a fun to apply same principle on your own body and get maximum benefit out of it. Diet, I think this is something most important. Unless you understand the basic thing and start following a good diet, your exercise and whatever efforts you are taking will not give you that much benefit or advantage. So a simple thing which I did, see, we all learned in PSM that average man needs about 1800 to 2000 kilocalories. So first thing which I did, I counted my own intake of calories. And there's so many good apps. One I would recommend is MyFitnessPal, which is a very Indianized app where you can even put fodnichi poli, upama, vada, chapati, and you can roughly calculate how much calories you are ingesting. So to my surprise, I was eating so much. I never realized that I was eating so many things during daytime, right from breakfast in the house, then a cup of coffee with patties in the hospital, then something after OPD, then lunch, then again snacks. Then I added up together and I realized I was eating more than 2100 calories every day. And where I was supposed to have only 1700 calories. So I realized I was adding up at least 300 to 400 calories every day, which was not useful. And all that was getting converted into fat and weight gain. Then I realized, although I was taking those many calories, the percentage of protein, carb, and fat was not at all in the right proportion. I was having too many carbs and too less protein. Just to tell you, I was supposed to have about 86 grams of protein. I was just having 65. So I made some observations and I realized I was consuming too many refined sugars, inadequate fats, and lack of complex carbs. And the timing and pattern also makes a big difference. So I realized there are certain sources of proteins which can give me calories, more protein, at the same time reduce my carb. Of course, if you are pure vegetarian, you will have a vegetarian protein sources like soya and pulses. But if you are non-vegetarian, it becomes very easy to consume boiled eggs, maybe fish or chicken, which can give you good amount of calories, at the same time more of proteins. And then I corrected my diet in terms of calories, and then I reduced my calories and increased my protein intake, so that it was a more of a balanced diet, which was the need for such kind of enduring sports. Again, at the same time, we do hear a lot of stories where a marathoner suffered heart attack. These things do happen as an accident, or sometimes because of overtly ignored facts about your heart training. See, someone who is not doing exercise for 35 years, and if he suddenly starts running marathon, then if you don't take proper care, is bound to happen. So this is something which I incorporated in my training, is heart-based training. So we all know that if we divide our zones of maximum heart rate, so the 70 to 80% of maximum heart rate is the best zone, which we call aerobic zone. So your training, 70% of your running or cycling training should be in zone 3. If you do this over a longer period, then your heart gets well adapted without causing complication. And this has been proven well in the literature. So just to analyze my own progress, now Vo2 Max is the value which will tell your body's capacity to utilize the oxygen what you inhale, and it is age and sex specific. So I started with my Vo2 Max somewhere at 31 to 32, and now it is more than 46 and 47. So this is objective way to assess your own fitness level, and to keep it maintained at that level, you have to do exercises on regular basis. Just achieving will not solve the issue, but you have to maintain it. So for this particular Ironman event, it was almost 1 year training. I did about 3,000 kilometers cycling, about 50 odd kilometers swimming, and about 800 kilometers running. And the usual week schedule used to be 3 runs, 2 cycle rides, and 1 swim. And of course, I had to fit all this, workouts without affecting my clinical work. So it used to be early hours in the morning. And as KHS sir said, rightly said, if you go to bed early, then you can get up early morning. And that is the best period to start your training. So on the D-Day, the epic day of Ironman, those were really grueling 14 hours. You experience a lot of highs and lows, but the feeling of crossing finish line is unbelievable. You have to experience it. Race day physiology is something very important. As a doctor, you can understand it well. We have about 2,000 calories stored in muscle, but believe me, it just takes 2 hours to consume this much. So you have to keep feeding yourself almost 200 to 300 calories per hour during your run. You lose 1 liter sweat, water every hour. You lose about 1 gram of sodium per hour. So you have to keep adding salt and fluid and calories while you are on the run or on your bike. So you have to have a good breakfast before your event. Don't have too much of fat. Hydrate well, have a good electrolyte solution, salt tablets, and you can have some food items like dates, gels on the route. So you have to keep sipping water and some solid food during your event. Of course, when you participate in such events, you get inspired from athletes who are participating in such events. They are from all ages. I have seen 75-year-old gentleman doing so well in Ironman, and I could not overtake him throughout. We do see athletes with special abilities completing the race, even with better timings than us, who have got all 4 feet, all hand and feet intact. So it's an event which keeps inspiring you throughout the 14-15 hours. I think it is not only physical, but the mental fitness, which is also very important. And you have to prove to yourself that, yes, come what may, I have to finish this race and overcome whatever difficulties, obstacles I have during the race. I think you do this kind of event once in a year, but what is more important for us or for me was it becomes more than the event, it becomes your lifestyle. I have this kind of trainer at home where I can use the technology. I can do any GPS course anywhere in the world, maybe in USA or Italy, or I can do even Pasarani Ghat near Mahabaleshwar in my house without any risk of any accident, because it is very risky to ride cycle on our Indian roads. So I think this sort of high-tech technology helps you to train in a better way, in a better environment. So I think what is more important is, yes, if it is not possible or advisable for everyone to do a marathon or Ironman, but I think 45 minutes of good aerobic activities at least 5 days a week is must. And now if I don't do that, then my day doesn't start. If I don't do it in the morning, I make sure that once I finish my outpatient in the evening, at least I do something for 45-50 minutes. Then I feel, yes, everything is all right. And then I can go soundly to the sea. Of course, while you do your career in clinical or in your sports, you need a family support and you have to spend time with them. And the best way is you can take them to these events so they can also enjoy. You can also inspire your children to pursue some sort of sports. Because of Corona condition, last 2 years, there was all international Ironman and marathon events were cancelled. So the athlete in yourself can't sit quiet. So I was lucky to be a part of trekking team. Just last month, we did a Great Lakes of Kashmir. Again, it is a different sports. You need different skill set to this kind of trekking. But I was happy to successfully do this trek with 13,750 feet summit during the Great Lakes of Kashmir trek. With this, I would end my talk. Thank you very much, all of you, for patient listening and to give me this opportunity to show what I have done. And the best part today is all the panelists are all my teachers. So I really feel very thankful for helping me to do well in my career and overall in my life. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Shirish. That was a very, very enlightening, encouraging, and inspirational talk. I myself feel, I want to follow in your footsteps. This is amazing. And did you started so late in life? It's hardly even 6 years, 7 years. You must be about 40, 42 by now?
44.
44. So, I mean, to start at the age of 38, it's amazing, really. We are in awe of you. Now, there was a question. How do you prevent injuries when you do these great athletic feats? How do you prevent sports injuries?
No, see, you can reduce number of sports injuries, but you can't prevent them completely. But as I said, if you have a proper plan, so here a role of coach is very important. If you have a proper plan, so he gives you a right time for recovery. If you keep running every day, that is bound to lead to sports injuries. So you run for one day, you do some cross training next day, so your body gets time to recover. And most important, what I have learned with experience, 7 to 8 hours of sleep is the best medicine to prevent sports injuries. If you have good sleep, injuries will be less. But of course, you will have all sort of plantar fasciitis, IT band, abductor strain, lower back pain, everything. But if you continue training, everything will wean off. And of course, strengthening, stretching, good diet is best to avoid or minimize sports injuries.
Lovely. I think the catch here was sleep. I think that's one thing that we all sort of compromise, and KHS sir and you have both sort of given us a huge emphasis on sleep, that being so important. Tell me, Dr. Atul Patil wants to know more about your in-house cycle program. Where did you get it from?
So these are all smart cycle trainers. They are available in India, and you can just buy that. You can mount your own cycle on that trainer, and it has got app which can be installed on your mobile, and you can have a subscription for these apps, and you can choose even 3D video recorded simulated programs for your cycling. And the best part is your friends, you can come online together and you can do this or race against each other virtually. So I think this is the best training module which I have come across. For last 3 years, I am using 99% indoor cycling for training myself.
Fabulous. I find it really amazing that you do so much of exertion. Like you actually run, you start with the cycling, then you do the swimming or swimming, cycling, and then you do the running. And that much of endurance is what you need to do. What did you say? 14 hours?
Yeah, 14 hours.
14 hours of pure athletic activity. Doesn't it just tire you out? At some point, you don't feel like giving up?
See, I think it's just, you start with bit, and human body is unbelievable. We have so much reserves in our body that your body will surprise yourself. So I think it's just a long-term training, and any one of us can do this if we decide to do this. That's why the tagline of Iron Man is anything is possible.
Wonderful. Chetan, you seem to have a question. So Dr. Shailesh is asking us, what is the tougher part, the cycle, the run, or the swimming part? Which do you find the most difficult?
For me, I find cycling is tough, because to sit on saddle for 6 to 7 hours, your whole bottom gets numb.
It must be. It really must be. I can't cycle more than even half an hour. You start getting a lot of irritation in the wrong places. And so, do you feel back pain at any point? Do people complain of back pain or spine injuries at any point?
Yes, I think back pain is a very common symptom, and I think core strengthening, back extensor strengthening is the main treatment or preventive exercises to avoid such kind of back pain. But it is bound to happen. You have to deal with that.
Okay.
Arjun, one question.
Yes.
Shirish, any plans for a training program for POS members, if not MOA?
Of course, whoever is interested, please contact me. We can do some runs together.
Excellent talk, inspirational. Thank you.
Thank you.
Shailesh, you have to say something. Shailesh too is one of these health freaks and a marathoner, and I've heard him speak about how he has.
No, I think incredible, Shirish. Your talk was very inspiring, and I just need to understand how one should really do a proper diet. Do you really need some dietitian to help you during the training period, or you just manage on the app?
No, I just manage myself, but it is good idea to have dietitian. But what I realized, I visited one nutritionist, and the sort of diet she gave was much more than what I was eating. So I thought it's best to have ortho approach and have a balanced diet on my own.
Yes.
Truly, great talk, Shirish. Great talk.
Karne sir, do you have a question?
No questions. There's quite elaborative. I heard him also once. It is not so easy. What he has done is a really great feat. It's not so easy at all.
I totally agree. It's incredible. I'm trying to find any questions from the YouTube channel, and I don't see any questions there. And Shirish, I think you've covered the topic so perfectly. You spoke about your diet, you spoke about your trainer, you spoke about how you keep fit, and what are the goals of what you've been doing. So thank you very much for enlightening us, and thank you for giving us this inspiration. With that, I think we will conclude this program, and I take this opportunity to thank the President of Maharashtra Orthopaedic Association, Dr. Ajit Shinde sir, President of Pune Orthopaedic Association, Dr. Narayan Karne sir, and the IOA for supporting us in this program. Karne sir, would you like to conclude?
Thanks. First of all, thanks, Dr. Arjun Veigus, that you have done carried on with such a wonderful your oratory and your enthusiasm and everything that itself is gives the energy to all the listeners. I thank you for conducting this meeting so nicely. Then I thank Dr. K. Sancheti for at this age also he is so fit and he has given us all his clues how to remain young and energetic. Not only young, it is energetic and still enthusiastic, and he's still working. I don't think he has kept his scalpel down, but I don't think he will keep all his weapons down. And we thank him for that. Then we thank Shirish Pathak, how he has told all the journey and really start at the age of 38 and 40 and achieve this feat is really commendable, and it requires really a lot of determination, hard work, and proper direction, and you have to continue all those things. You can't just do for some time and then you forget it. It cannot be like that. So I thank Dr. Shirish Pathak that he has given all this idea.
I think Karne sir is not online anymore. So with that, I think Ashok Sham, are you there? Thank you very much. Thank you for all our viewers for being with us this evening. Thank you, Dr. Chetan Puram, Dr. Rajeev Joshi, Dr. Ashok Sham, Shailesh Wahegaonkar, Dr. Sandeep Patwardhan, and to our main speakers, Shirish Pathak and Dr. K. Sancheti sir. Thank you very much for a very enlightening evening. With that, I think we should conclude this program, and I request Ashok to finish the live